Hi, Patrick. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Let's just wait for the others.
Yeah, Emil is here.
Hi, Emil.
Hi, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. I know you guys have questions pala about the training, the position. While waiting for Lynette, so basically, we sent you over this training. This is actually a pilot batch because yung what you call it? Normally, the challenges are we have clients na they want very minimal accent, and we'll also teach you how to work on, say for example, if wala pang experience, so I'll definitely teach you that right after this training. Okay?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Ay
Okay,
my
ma'am. Noted.
my God, si Charles pala, hindi ko pa nagigising. Wait lang ha, gising ko lang, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Hi,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Hello. Yeah, let's just wait for the others to join before we start.
Hi, Ate Lay.
Hello.
Good morning. Charles is opening his laptop na. I'm sorry, my bad, hindi ko nagising.
That's okay.
Lucas is here. Okay, Lucas. Because Lucas is at the grandmom's house.
Oh, okay. Let's just wait for Charles. I heard you earlier when you were
Ay,
saying that
sorry.
that you need to wake him up.
I
That's fine.
forgot. I'm doing the laundry. We're all set.
Hello, hello. Good morning once again. All right, let me just do a review of what we did yesterday. So yesterday mostly is phonetic sounds, what we talked about. Um, we talked about the A, E, I, O, schwa, right? So of course in A we have the long A, the short A. For the I sound, same thing, E as well, and the schwa sound. So right now, what we'll be talking about is regarding sound liaisons and connections. Okay. Of course, we're not expecting you to be able to do this right away. But again, like what I said, been constantly saying that through practice, you would be able to do this. Okay, sound liaisons and connections. So in linguistics, it is the pronunciation of the usually silent final consonant of a word when followed by a word beginning with a vowel. Simply put, these are sound connections. Okay, so liaisons can happen in words with T, D, or Z and Y sound. Okay, later on, I'll give you examples. And of course, consonant and vowel sound, consonant and consonant, vowel and vowel. Okay, so we connect those. So how does it look like? Okay, let's show. Let's see. All right. So when a word ends in a consonant sound and the next word starts with a vowel sound, okay, a principle of business. Okay. Sometimes how we do this is we glide through it. Okay, we glide through it, meaning we connect them together, like in one word. Okay, let me show you the next slide just so you see what I am talking about here. Here is a sample. Okay, when a word ends in a consonant sound and the next word starts with a consonant sound, that is in a similar position, they are connected. Okay, it's going to be read as like this, where it's connected all together. You don't have to read it as it tells me to read. You can connect it in one, it's like one word. It tells me to read, tells me to read. Okay, so that's what you call connections or liaisons, sound liaisons, right? The next sentence, how about today? Okay. You can say it as how about today, but for you to be able to adapt their accent, again, like what I said, we're not expecting you to do this right away, but through practice, all right? How about today? See the difference? You can read it as how about today, but you can also do it just sound more neutral, because what we are aiming here is the American neutral accent or the standard English. That's why we're teaching you the liaisons as well. Okay. Again, this is achieved through practice. When you watch, movies, when you listen to people talking in the English language, you'd be, especially those who are native American speakers, you'd be able to hear this. Now, sometimes you get to catch what they're trying to say. However, of course, if you're not used to it, okay, if you don't know, if you haven't heard it, sometimes it's hard for you to understand what you're trying to say. This is because what they're doing is they're connecting it. They're like what I said, it's the sound liaison. Okay, that's how they do it. Okay, again, through practice and how this is how you'll be able to achieve that. Yeah, so this is just a sample. Like another sample is, what do you call it? Sometimes we read it as what you call it, what you call it. Okay, so there. So that's an example of sound liaisons or connections. Okay, again, we are not expecting you to do it right away, but of course, if you practice and if you try to include this when you're talking, when you're conversing, then you would sound neutral or you would sound a natural. Okay, what they call a natural, because you'd be speaking their language really. Like what he said, because we Filipinos, we don't how we talk is different. Okay, sometimes um your clients would ask you, so what country are you? Because they know or they can hear our Filipino accent. It shows. Sorry. It shows on how we speak. Or sometimes at the first part or the first few minutes when you're talking, you sound American. Okay. However, when you're already thinking, that's where the accent comes in. That's why it's better that you practice all of the time, okay, for you to be able to achieve that. All right. Another sample. When a word ends in a vowel sound and the next word starts with a vowel sound, they are connected with a glide between the two vowels. Go away. Okay. Instead of go away, go away. Instead of how about now? Okay. Are you okay? Are you okay? You will be able to hear the W in between. We ought to do it. We ought to do it. 2 hours. 2 hours. Okay. Again, for us, of course, because it's not, we're still practicing this. Now, it sounds different. However, you'd be able to see this, like what I said, in movies or when you hear somebody talking, the native English or the Native American, you'll be able to hear the sound liaisons or how they connect the words. Okay. The next one that we have is stress and rhythm. Okay, I'm not going to really stick on the liaisons because that is achieved through practice. I just wanted to put this in the slide so that you'd be able to practice this on your own as well. Again, it's not expected for you to be um, to really mimic. However, at least be able to confidently speak the language. All right. All right. So the next one that we will discuss is stress and rhythm. Word stress. Okay. Stretch the syllable as it is pronounced. Okay. Meaning you stretch it longer. Say it louder. Raise your voice for emphasis, higher in pitch. Samples that we have below. Employee. Okay. Geologic. Intonation. Occasion. Reliability. Equilibrium. All right. So you'd be able to see there that they put stress. Okay. They put stress on parts of the word. Okay. So that's why sometimes it's for you to be, especially if you're facilitating as well, of course, you have to have an emotion on what you say. Okay. Like you guys, it's work from home. They won't be able to see you. It's all through the phone. Okay, so how you pronounce or how you put the stress and rhythm in a sentence also provides you what you want to convey. Okay, because if you just stick with just one rhythm, it sounds dull. And the person on the other line might not be listening to you anymore. That's why we put stress and rhythm when we talk. Okay. Same thing when you are probably hosting. This is how hosts do it and the teachers do it. This is because to get attention, right? So you put stress and rhythm on how you speak, on how you talk. This is to get the attention of the people listening to you. Okay. Because if you're just using one rhythm, it sounds boring. Okay. You have to show emotions on what or how you speak. All right. Again, because like what I said, when we go back to the very first, the first day that we met, when you introduced yourselves, right? You sounded, you really sounded like you're asking permission to provide the information. Okay. It should be your commanding. It should be your showing confidence. Now, how will you show that confidence? Knowing where to put the stress on each words that you're saying. Okay. So there. Right. So we have already discussed this, the record and the record. Okay. It's just giving it, showing it again to you. Right? So again, nouns and verbs, you'd be able to see the difference, the meaning of each, okay, where you put the stress. Okay. Just going back to this one, but we've already gone through this. All right. This is a sample of where you put the stress and how would it mean if you put the stress on the different parts of the words. Okay. Let's see here. Just give me a second. All right. So let's try to practice. On the right side of my presentation, you'd be able to see what it means. Now, if you put the stress, or where you put the stress, that's how it means. So see, I didn't say you ate a pie. Someone else said it. So meaning, if you put the stress in the I, okay, you're trying to say, or you're trying to tell the person or the second person that you did not eat the pie, right? I didn't say you ate the pie. So meaning you didn't say it. Okay. See, where you put the stress already conveys a different meaning. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Okay, that's why you need to know how to do it as well. Okay. See, it's all the same sentence. It's just where you put the stress, the meaning becomes different. Okay. So when you just say, I didn't say you ate the pie. Nothing, right? Nothing. But if you say, I didn't say you ate the pie. Okay. So meaning someone else said it. Okay. I didn't say you ate the pie. Meaning I really did not say it. I didn't say you ate the pie. I didn't say it, but I could have written it down. I didn't say you ate the pie. I didn't say it was you. I said it was him. I didn't say you ate the pie. I just told him you took it. I didn't say you ate the pie. Probably talking about a different pie, right? Or I'm not talking about that specific pie. I didn't say you ate the pie, but I might have said you ate the cake. See, so how you put the stress provides a different meaning already. Okay, so that is the same thing when you're talking. Okay, if you're just saying that, let's put it in an introduction. My name is Lynette. I am 30 years old. I I live in Cavite. I so how you see how I sound? Okay. So when you introduce yourself, or when you're already talking, let's say the person is already asking you, so what are your hobbies? Can you tell me more about yourself? See, the stress is in the more. Can you tell me more about yourself? So meaning if you've already introduced yourself, they wanted you to speak up more. Okay, they wanted you to tell more, other things that would entice them, or other things that would show them who you are as a person. Again, because they cannot see you, that's why they are asking you to talk, okay, and sell yourself. Okay, how can you sell yourself if you don't know how to explain yourself or articulate yourself, whatever it is in your thoughts? Okay, you cannot express it in words. Okay, same thing when you're already hired and you're already talking to a customer. Okay, you have to know how to really convey that meaning. Sometimes we have scripts that we read. If we have those, then the more that you need to know how to put the stress and the rhythm on the scripts that you will be reading. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Just give me a second. All right. Next. So these are, some expressions, okay, so that we can practice. Let's see. How are we going to, um, read this with emotions? Okay, because it's an expression. Okay, let's try. Emil, can you please read the first line?
It's really remarkable.
Very good. I like that. Okay. Next. Patrick, the second line.
Hello.
Yes.
The snake was enormous.
Very good. Okay. Next. Lucas, can you read the third line?
The view is fantastic.
Nice. Very good. Charles, are you there? Can you read the fourth?
A thunderous silence followed.
All right. Thank you. And then the fifth one, let me read that. How lovely. Okay, so very good, guys. I like how you read it. If you notice, you already put stress. It's not on the whole sentence, but just on a specific, like on the first one. It's really remarkable. Okay, you already put the stress on the remarkable. Same thing with the second line. Okay, I'm so proud of you and how you're doing because it already shows how it is you're learning on how to do it. Okay, so make sure that, of course, when you are already talking, you put emotions like that. So nice, very good. All right, so let's see on this one. Okay, um, Emil, can you do the first line?
Don't do it ever again.
See that emotion there? Wow. Okay. Next, the second line, Lucas.
There's nothing you can do here.
Very good. Next, Patrick.
Stop peddling.
It's so nice. Okay. Next, Charles.
It's not of your business.
Good job. Okay. And then the last two, let me read that. Share it with me. Let's forget the whole thing. Okay, so see, so how you say it, especially if you already have those scripts that you're reading. So make sure that you put emotions as well. Of course, if it has a, you don't shout at your customers, right? You don't shout at your clients. However, how you say it already gives you, you already show confidence on how you say it and how you're reading right now. I'm so proud of how you're reading it, how you sound like. It's so nice to hear. Okay. It's so nice to hear that you're already putting emotions, meaning you are learning on what you're going to do when you read scripts or when you explain to your clients or to your customers. All right. Right. So intonation, Intonation in American English to convey a range of meanings, emotions, or situations within the confines of standard grammar and fixed word order. We use rising intonation and falling intonation to convey some of those meaning. So how to apply intonation in speech? Raise your voice for emphasis. Second, stretch the word as it is pronounced. Third, use proper word connections. And the last one, connect words to form sound groups. So this is the liaison. All right. So that's how you do it. Okay. So of course, in intonation, this is already like giving life to what you're reading. All right. So this is like that's why I ask you to record the very first one, because I would like you to do it again, to record yourself um, applying what we have learned. Okay, later on we'll do that as an activity. Okay, and we will see the difference from how you recorded it on the first time and how it is now with all of the things that you have learned. Okay, later on we'll do that. So the falling tone is used on statements. So sample, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, it goes down. It's like you're walking, okay, or you're going down. Your tone is going down. Commands or order, even if you use please. Sit down. Sit down, please. So it's going down. You don't say it as sit down or sit down, right? Or sit down, please. No. Okay. You for statements it should be, or for commands, it should be going down. Okay. There. Those are just samples. Of course, for questions, we know how it is. It should be going up. Okay. So for if it's a question or interrogatives, who is calling, please? Right? So we already know how to use this because it's been taught to us, during our school days. So we should be able to know how to um, use or put emotion if it's an interrogative. Okay. Okay, this is just a again sentence drill. I would like you to read it first. Give you 2 minutes to read and put emotions there, and then we'll read. I'll ask you to read one by one. Okay. Right. So you see there, the highlighted is where we put the emphasis. Okay. So that's what I would like you to do when we read this later on. Okay. All right. So let's try. Um, Let's see. Emil, can you do the first one?
This will take a couple of minutes.
All right. Patrick, the next one, please.
It will take only a couple of minutes.
Good job. Lucas, next.
Thank you for your patience.
Charles, the next one.
I sincerely thank you for your patience.
You see how you sound like? It's so nice. I'm so proud of you guys. Okay, because you already know, how it is. So, of course, when you're reading, okay, when you're reading from a script or whatnot, you won't be able to, there's no highlighted where you put emphasis, right? So it's up to you guys. So make sure that you practice this so that you really sound nice when you're reading the sentence drill that I provided. It's so nice because meaning to say you are able to already put emphasis on each word and you already sound really confident when you are speaking the sentence. I'm so proud of you. If you can only hear yourself doing it, it's so nice to hear. Okay. All right. So before we go here with the English grammar, okay, um, what I would like you to do is to um, to record again yourself doing the paragraph grill that I provided the first time. Okay, let me go back to that so that we can record. Okay, let me just look for it because that's 10 there. Okay, here you go. Okay, so what I would like you to do is record again, okay, this accent neutralization paragraph and putting stress and rhythm and pauses on what you have learned so far. Okay, so this is an activity where you'd be able to see the difference from how it is the first time you record yourself and now that you already know how to do it. Okay, so what I'm going to give you 15 minutes practice first where you're going to put your stresses. Okay, I have the copy of the first one and let's see how you sounded like now from how you did it from before. Okay. Again, what I would like you to do is do this using or putting emotions or putting the stress, the rhythm. If you can also put the liaison or the connection, that would be great. Okay, I'll give you 15 minutes to do this. Okay, and record again. All right. Marose, are you there? Anyway, if she's not, let me go ahead and put in the chat the link where we or where you can record. Okay. You practice first and then put it in the chat so that you can record yourself again and then send to Marose again. Okay.
Ma'am, excuse me, I have a question. Is the copy of our first accent neutralization paragraph shown already in the screen? Because it appears to be blank in my screen.
Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, it should be. Hold on. Let me know if you can already see the screen.
Yes, ma'am. I can already see it. Thank you.
All right. All right. So all are done. All right. Okay. So I'll be listening to that later on. Okay. So let us now resume to English grammar. All right. Let us now move on to English grammar. Okay. So English grammar. What is the difference between written and spoken language? How is grammar going to make me sound more neutral? All right. Of course, when you are talking, no, it's easier. Sometimes, actually, it's vice versa. Sometimes there are people who are good in writing, and there are also people who are good in speaking the language, but having a hard time when they are already writing it down. Okay, so let's go ahead and see the difference between the two. Let me show you a letter that was written. Okay. Okay, this is a letter that was written, probably translating it literally from Tagalog or vernacular to English. Okay, that's why if you see here, if you read through it, actually me, I'm having a hard time reading through it because it's so hard to understand. Let's see. To Margie. I am not surprised or wonder why Dennis leave you. Why? What reason you can think about, but your very fat body. I thought before that Dennis only used me to his toy, but sooner and later I'm realized that he really can't not beard or stomached to be with you anymore. Because at first, Dennis say he could not stand your habit of making pakialam all his walks and always calling to their house what he go home or this or that. And then he say he get ashamed to meet either in school or in his family, and then asking you to exercise your very, very, very fat body, but you hate it. Though you're the most prettiest girls, you do not have the right to call me whatsoever or else different name, one time or the other for the real purpose to insult my personality because I'm never call you names either in the front of Dennis or in the backs of Dennis. In the front and the box. But if you start already to calling me different name, I don't have any other choice but to call you other different name to like you are a big, fat, obese, overweight, overweight, and ugly shape girl. Shame to your body that is to a buding. You can't not blame Dennis for exchanging you to me because I am the more sexier than you when you look to us in the mirror. I'm repeat again that you are like Ike Losada when she is a girl. From the sexiest girl of DM. P.S. You say that I'm the bad breath, but who is Dennis want to kiss? Me or you? You or me? And the final is me. See? I kind of understand what she's trying to say because I'm a Filipino. But if this is being read by a, a Native American, I don't know how they'll be able to understand this. See, that's why it's also important that we learn written, okay, or grammar, right? So there. Because sometimes, simple things, we omit or we forget. And that's why we have to be careful too. That's why I added or I also placed grammar here in our lesson so that because it's not just all talking as well. Sometimes you have written correspondence that you have to write, correct? So you need to know how to do that too. Okay. Okay, this is too small. See, can't you speak English? Yes, I am. Ah. All right, so we will now revisit on parts of speech. Okay, so let's start with noun. I know all of you already know this, but let's just browse through it, okay? So noun is, of course, name, a person, place, thing, idea, state, or quality. Classifications of your noun, you have your common, proper, mass, collective, compound. Gender of nouns, you have feminine, masculine, and neutral. Okay, so these are some of your samples. American, library, laptop, tortoise, democracy, hunger, integrity. Okay, so those are your nouns. Next, pronouns. Words that take the place of a noun. This is used when you don't want to repeat the noun or are unable to directly name the noun. Okay, so types of your pronouns, you have personal, intensive, reflexive, interrogative, demonstrative, indefinite. Okay, case, nominative, objective, possessive. Examples is I, you, he, she, it, we, they, everyone, each, some, anybody. So again, these are things you already know. We're just revisiting it. Right? So Filipinos have the tendency to interchange gender forms of a pronoun, sometimes using him and her throughout a conversation to refer to one person. In Filipino, pronouns may have the same or even more functions as English pronouns, but have less forms. So example, the book is with me. In Filipino, nasa akin ang libro. In literal translation, if you're going to literally translate it, with me, the book. Okay, so it's not the case, all right? The book is with me. Okay. But if you do it literally, like what the letter, our sample letter earlier, literally translated in English, it already, it's different. Okay, so there. Using the right pronoun. When selecting the right pronoun to use, make sure that the pronoun and the noun match in the following aspects. Okay, grammatical person. First person refers to the speaker. Second person refers to the person being spoken to. Third person refers to others who are not the speaker or the one being spoken to. Gender, and then number, if it's singular versus plural. Right? Next. Verbs. Words that express an action, occurrence, or state of being. Action verbs. Transitive. Call, hate, like, read. Intransitive. Walk, jump, dance, stand. Okay, and then you have your linking verbs. Am, is, are, sing, look, appear. And then you have your helping verbs. Be, do, have. Okay. So again, we're just browsing through this. I know all of you already knows this from school. So we're just revisiting. Then you have your modifiers. Modifiers are words that describe other words. The types of modifiers, you have adjectives and adverbs. How can you tell? Determine its purpose in the sentence, okay, for you to be able to know, right? Modifiers, adjectives, describe nouns or pronouns. The order of it is opinion, dimension, age, size, color, origin, and material. So samples of your modifiers, adjectives: amazing, round, ancient, thin, magenta, Spanish, wood. Okay, so those are some samples. Next, modifiers, adverbs. Describe words that are not nouns or pronouns. They can describe a verb, adjective, or another adverb. Some adverbs will also connote time, including frequency and place. Okay. Professionally, efficiently, fast, almost. Okay, so those are modifiers. And then for time, when, okay, tomorrow, later, yesterday, soon, your place, where, here, there, everywhere, manner, how, gradually, gently, loudly. Okay, then you have your frequency, how many times, okay, sometimes, often. Okay, so those are samples. Degree, what extent, nearly, almost, very, quite. Okay, so when you use those in a sentence, okay, those are modifiers. Okay, modifier adverbs. I'm almost done. Okay, I'm nearly done. Okay, so those things. Next, modifiers, misplaced modifier. Okay, a misplaced modifier is one that fails to modify the intended element, noun, verb, adverb of the sentence. Incorrect. I sat down to pick up the phone quickly. The professor will explain how her system works on Monday. If you see here, if you read it, aloud, it doesn't it doesn't it actually shows that it's correct, right? However, there's a misplaced modifier there. Okay, this is how it should be. I quickly sat down to pick up the phone, or I sat down to quickly pick up the phone. Because on the first sentence, I sat down to pick up the phone quickly. That's how we are, in how we are in Filipino. Okay, as a Filipino, okay, this is how we do it. I sat down to pick up the phone quickly. However, the correct sentence should be, I quickly sat down to pick up the phone, or I sat down quickly to pick up the phone. Okay. Next, the professor will explain how her system works on Monday. On Monday, the professor will explain how her system works. Okay. This is just the positioning of the words in a sentence. Okay. So there. Then you have your articles. Basically, an article is an adjective. It introduces a noun. Okay, they are the, or the, a, and an, or a and an. Use the when talking about specific things in singular or plural subject. And then you have a when introducing a singular noun that starts with a consonant. And then an when introducing a singular noun that starts with a vowel sound. Okay, I often see, especially in Facebook when I'm browsing, when they're putting status or they're putting statements on their timeline, they sometimes use the incorrect articles. Okay, when they're talking about something, they use an a, okay, and then it's followed by a vowel sound, where in truth it should be, I that's my pet peeve actually when I'm reading, especially from friends. I usually send out a message if they incorrectly placed, especially if it's in English, they incorrectly placed uh the articles in their statuses. Okay, I would usually advise them to correct it. This is because when you read it, it doesn't, when I'm reading it, doesn't sound nice. It doesn't look nice because of the misplacement of the article or the usage of the article. So also you guys, you have to be careful with that. Those are just simple things, but it takes, it makes an impact. That's why you have to be careful. Again, you use a if it starts with a if the next or the noun starts with a consonant, and then you use an if it starts with a vowel, right? Next, you have your prepositions. A preposition describes a relationship such as a space, time, cost, or manner between its object and the other. In the other words, in a sentence. In itself, a word like in or after is rather meaningless and hard to define in mere words. So preposition of place, prepositions of movement, prepositions of time and date, prepositions for since, while, during, over, and within, the functional preposition with. Okay. So this is the preposition of place, at, on, and in. Okay. Again, I still see, I see people when writing, um, they have incorrect, especially in speaking also, they use the incorrect prepositions when you're talking about something. Okay, make sure that you are using the correct prepositions as well. I know it's minimal, however, there are times that it's it's bothersome, okay, if you hear using correct prepositions. Okay, for specific addresses, okay, this is a sample. Grammar English lives at 55 Buretts Road in Durham. Okay, point of place or location, at the corner. Okay, it's not in the corner, it's at the corner. Okay, at the bus stop. Okay, it's not in the bus stop or on the bus stop. At the bottom of the page, talking about a book. Okay, at the center of the herd. Okay, so they're talking about a specific place or location, at. All right. Prepositions of place, at, on, and in. Again, we use on. Okay, earlier we used at. We use on to designate names of streets, avenues, etc. Her house is on Boretz Road. Okay. Surfaces. The posters were hung on the wall. No, it's not at the wall, on the wall. Okay, directions. The building is on the left. Personally, okay, I sometimes do this too when I am providing directions. It's there at your right. Okay, should be on the left or on your left or on your right, right? Okay, so there. Then we use in. Okay, we use in for the names of land areas, towns, counties, states, countries, and continents. She lives in Durham. The spaces, bodies of water, and lines. The printer is in the room. Okay, I know this is, a simple one. However, me personally, I still sometimes use the incorrect prepositions, but again through practice, you'd be able to use the correct one. No, it's something that we miss out all the time. Okay. Next, we have our comparatives and superlatives. Comparatives and superlatives are special forms of adjectives. They are used to compare two or more nouns. Comparatives are used to compare two nouns. John is fatter than Josh. Okay, superlatives are used to compare more than two nouns. We typically use the articles the or the because there is only one superlative. John is the fattest person I know. So see the difference? Okay. So note, do not use the conjunction than if you do not mean to compare nouns. Okay. Sometimes you also use John is see how it would sound like. John is the fattest than Josh. So it doesn't sound nice. John is the fattest person I know. So if you're comparing, then you can put than. Okay. Okay, subject verb agreement. Okay, again, this one. The term agreement is in grammar is used to denote the relationship between the subject and its verb and the pronoun and its antecedent. For a present tense, you can't have two S endings at the same time, one on the subject and the other on the verb. So you can't do that. Here are some of your sample. Okay, so you have your singular equals singular subject equals singular verb. Should be. So this is the basic rule of subject verb agreement. The system prints the checks. The customer is waiting for you because it's just one person. Okay. Plural subject, plural verb. We review a lot of documents. So it shouldn't be we reviews. Okay. So we review. Okay. Tickets are updated hourly. Okay. So there. Again, this is just browsing through it. I know you already know this. Okay, next. Linking verbs. The verb agrees with the subject rather than the word that follows the complement. His problem is frequent injuries. Okay. So the linking verb there, okay, so you'd be able to see compound subjects when two or more singular subjects joined by and or both and a plural form of the verb is required. Sample, Jessica and Matthew plan to visit their former professor. So and is your linking verb there. So here in the first one, if you're not able to see, is your linking verb. Okay. Next, we have your indefinite pronouns. Okay, singular, any, anybody, anyone, anything, each, either, everybody, either or either. Okay, everybody, everyone, everything, neither, no, nobody, no one, nothing. Okay, so those are your samples. Somebody, someone, many, okay, much. There. And then you have your plural, both, few, fewer, many others, several, they, a few, several tourists go to Florida to see the Space Center. And then you also have your singular plural, none, enough, some, all, most. Okay. Again, these are just uh, revisiting. Okay, I know that you already know this. Okay. Tips. The pronoun you will always take a plural verb, even if it acts as a singular or plural pronoun. The pronoun I is always a singular pronoun but takes a plural verb. The singular verbs that go with the pronoun I are am, present tense, and was, past tense. So we know this already. I am. Okay. I am going to the mall. Okay. So those are some samples. This is pretty easy. You know this. Verb tenses. Okay, so past is ate, present eats, future will eat. Okay. A characteristic or form of a verb that indicates the time of the action, occurrence, or state of being expressed by the verb. So guideline. Do not shift from one tense to another if the time frame for each action or state is the same. Okay. This is confusing. See what's written here. I explained to the customer that the invoice needs the approval of his manager. The system did not show that one manager approves his expenses. Okay. Filipinos write this way. That's why you have to be careful. We Filipinos write this way. Okay. Here, confusing. I will call the customer to let him know what I will find out about the invoice. Revised. I will call the customer to let him know what I found out about the invoice. Okay. If you look at it, if you're a Filipino, it's okay. You understand. Okay. However, because of the tenses, it's incorrect. Okay. Word usage. Avoid fancy words and phrases when simpler ones convey the idea. Okay. We have what we call before keep it simple, right? Keep it short and simple is what they say. So when you're writing, yes, keep it short and simple. Unless you're, in school and you are asked by the teacher to pass, 100 words of, essay. You make it, as flowery as possible. But when you're writing down professional um, letters, it's better to keep it simple. Okay. Don't beat around the bush what they say, right? So you have to remember that express, don't impress. Okay, because sometimes, we use too much flowery words, especially when we're writing. So make sure that you just convey the meaning of what you're saying, how to convey that. Don't write too much. Okay, make it simple. Next, these are just some reminders on when to use accept and accept. Okay. Accept means to receive, while accept means to exclude. So make sure that you know the difference between the two. Okay. Next, fewer or less. Okay, how or when do we use fewer or less? The words less and fewer have similar meanings, but they cannot be used interchangeably. Use fewer when referring to an amount that could be expressed as a specific number. And then use less when making comparisons that do not lead or lend themselves to numeric amounts. So samples, we have fewer than 100 invoices left to encode. There is less water in the lake this time of year because you cannot count water. Okay, so there. It's or its. The word its is a contraction of it is or it has. The word its is a possessive pronoun meaning of it or belonging to it. Okay, I sometimes again see people using its, okay, when it should be the other one. Okay, you might want to practice if you're writing and if you're using the correct one, is um, you read it as it is instead, and then you can use the one with the apostrophe. But if it's not how you're supposed to write it, no, then you use the other one. You just make sure that you know how you use this, because I can still see people, interchanging this. So be careful. And then of course, this one, there, there, and there. Okay, there, the one with an I, means belonging to them. There means in or at that place, as opposed to here. Or there, it's a contraction of they are. Okay, so make sure that you be careful with this as well. Okay, their mom made them eat vegetables. They're happy because they get paid today. Are you sure she's not there? Okay, so there. There's a lot of there. Okay, and then your and your. Okay. Your is a contraction of you are, and your is the possessive form of pronoun you. So it means belonging to you. You're welcome. Okay, submit your report when you're finished. Okay, so if you're not sure, you may go ahead and break it down if you're not sure of what you use. So here in the second line, you see submit. Are you supposed to put the RE there? Okay, submit you are? No, of course. That's why you use your. Submit your report when you are finished or you're finished. Okay. This business versus colloquial. Okay, so these are things that you might consider as well, or be very careful of for you to sound professional. Make sure that you utter, or what you reply to your clients or to your customers. Okay, instead of gonna or wanna, please use going to or want to, because that sounds more professional. Same thing with yeah and yup. Okay, it's professional if you use yes instead. You can use this, you can use the other ones if probably it's not you're probably just conversing, but it's more nicer to hear, and it will sound more professional if you use the right one on the right side instead of the left one. Okay, this not a problem, no worries, sure. Okay, you're welcome, I'm glad I could help. Okay, give me a sec, or hold on, or one moment. Okay, give a specific time frame. May I ask for 2 minutes to get that information for you? Okay, it sounded more professional. Okay, fragmented questions. Okay, name, date of birth, etc. Start with may I have. Okay, may I have if you're
Excuse me,
asking
ma'am.
for
Can I have a
something.
question?
Yes.
Yeah, is noted acceptable in
Oh,
um
yes. Noted is acceptable, or this is noted. Much better.
thank you, ma'am.
Yep. More acceptable is this is noted, not just noted. Okay, this is noted. Right? So those are the things for word usage. Okay, so just simple things that would really sound more natural for you to be American neutral. We're talking about sounding more neutral or American if you use of course they use that too. Americans use that too. Americans use yep, yeah. However, if you are, especially if you are providing services, it's better that you talk professional. Okay, it's better. Again, it's not wrong. You can use it, but it's more professional if you use the correct words. Okay, colloquial English is okay. You can, especially um if you already know the person that you're speaking with, especially if it's already your second time talking, third time, you're already comfortable with the person. It's okay. But usually, if it's the first time, it's better if you provide, if you are professional when you're talking to them. Again, because you are giving them the first impression. Okay, that's why you have to speak, professionally too. Okay, if it's already your second or third time, yeah, you, you can relax a bit, you know. But again, still, it's still better if you are able to pronounce, and you're when you are talking, you are able to speak freely with using the correct prepositions, perfect correct articles, modifiers, things like that. Your what's this, your clients or your customers will not grade you anyway. However, again, we're just teaching this to you so that you would sound professional, right? Okay, so that's how we do it. Okay. Hold on, just give me a minute. Let me just go through this. Okay, let's now move on to customer service. Okay, so let's talk about customer service. All right, customer service. Now, one of the things that we have to um, be careful of in customer service as well is our voice. Okay, is our voice. Voice attributes of a good speaker. We have to talk about that. This is because, of course, um, we have to convey again, because they're not seeing us. Our customer or clients cannot see us. We have to be able to have a good voice when we're talking. Okay. Because if, for example, the person that you're speaking to, let's say, talk like, "Hello, my name is Lynette. How can I help you today? Um, yes, hi, how are you?" See my voice there? Okay, so if your voice is like that, it's like you're speaking under the water. It's like I don't know. Um, you're not in the mood to talk to the person, and we cannot show that. Okay, so one of the things that we have to be careful of again is our voice. Okay, this is our bread and butter right now because we're working from home. It's more of the voice, right? So one of the important attributes of a good speaker is having a voice, or the good voice projection, and the speech rate as well. Third is your pitch. Okay, see how I'm talking right now to you guys. Okay, I'm not talking very fast. Why? It's because I am talking to you so that you can, or you are able to understand what I'm trying to say. If I talk so fast, you won't be able to understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, especially if I'm already providing you a lot of information, things like that. So you have to be careful. Earlier, we already learned, rhythm, um, prolonging the words, and giving, this is how people will be able to understand you. You don't have to talk fast. When I first introduced myself to you guys, one of the things that I told you I remember is that when you're talking, one of the tricks that I do is I talk a bit slow. This is because I'm already thinking of what I'm going to say next. Okay, so that's how I do it. Okay, so a good speaker would need to have that voice projection so that people or the one on the other line will be able to understand you clearly. You're not eating your words. Don't be afraid in opening your mouth when you're talking. And don't be afraid if people beside you will be able to hear you as well. Especially if you are working from home, it doesn't matter. Okay? It's just you. If people will be able to listen to you, it's, more on the people at your home. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to be shy. Yeah, you have to open your mouth. Don't be afraid to speak so that the other person on the other line would be able to understand you clearly. Right? Phone courtesies. Opening the call, placing a call on hold, guidelines to advising, call transfers, concluding the conversation. Okay, so these are some phone courtesies. Of course, when you are doing or if it's an inbound call, you have to have an opening spiel. You have to know how to place a call on hold. You don't just place a call on hold without, giving or asking for permission. Guidelines to advising, meaning providing them a time frame probably when you are going to place them on hold. Guidelines on advising, it can be what they're going to do next. Okay, what would be the next process or the next steps, right? And then your call transfers, you need to know how to do that too. Concluding the conversation, it doesn't mean that you have to repeat everything that you all talked about. It's more on just, giving them um, a rundown. So we were able to talk about, let's say, the product that you are asking. Was I able to answer all of your questions? Or would there be anything else? Things like that. So how are we going to give instructions, or how are we going to answer, right, and provide instructions to our callers or to our clients?
Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry to
Yes.
interrupt. I can see your PowerPoint slides again because
Oh,
of my
okay. Sorry, sorry.
computer. Sorry. Thank you.
Can you see it now? Are you all able to see it now?
Yes, now. Yes, ma'am.
Eh,
It's
Thank you. All right. All right. So there. Next, listening skills. So we will talk about listening skills too. Okay. Listening skills, hearing versus listening, active listening, purpose and effects of active listening, 4 stages of active listening, barriers to active listening, how to develop listening skills. Okay, and then we will talk about in customer service managing customer perceptions, your confidence, positive scripting. Okay, so those are the things that we will talk about. And then we will also tackle call handling skills, or content versus emotion, emotional hot buttons, calls from different types of customers, diffusing callers' emotion. Okay, so those are the things that we will talk about. Right. So the introduction for customer skills or customer service skills. Okay, moment of truth. A moment of truth during a service interaction is any instance when a customer has an opportunity to form an impression of the quality of service you provide. Okay, this is very true because especially if you are, even if it's an outbound call, okay, and you are trying to verify something to your clients or to your customers, when you already have that, when you already know what you're going to do, right? Okay, the people that you are calling or the people that will call you doesn't know you. Okay, so they're calling because they need help. So you need to have a lasting impressions to them because you're not just um, it's not just you personally. You're already representing a company. So when you're already representing a company, of course, you have to give a good impression to whoever you're speaking with and to whoever you're talking to, right? So that's why when you talk to someone, okay, you make a lasting impression. Okay, same thing when you're going to be interviewed or especially a person that you're going to meet the first time, right? You have to make a lasting impression. Okay? So earlier I talked about the voice. So this one is what we're going to talk about. Your voice is your agent. More than any other factors, your voice serves to establish an image of you in the minds of others. Again, because they cannot see you. Okay, so voice attributes of a good speaker, like what I discussed earlier, has good voice projection, has average or flexible speech rate, uses speech on an advantage to convey the real message. Okay, providing that knowing where to put that stress. Okay, knowing where to put um, your intonation to use. Okay, so there. Voice projection defined as the loudness or softness of the voice. So audible enough for the caller to hear you, but never yell. Be conscious with your posture throughout the day. Breathing can be both voluntary and involuntary. For the purpose of voice projection, breathe more from the diaphragm, the muscles beneath the rib cage, as well as the abdominal muscles. Practice tightening and releasing these muscles slowly several times. Okay, again, because if you are going to be talking all throughout, or if you're going to be speaking, explaining, sometimes it takes a toll, right? It takes a toll on your voice. So you need to know how to breathe in and breathe out properly because your voice is what's being heard by your customers. Okay, so again, you need to practice that um, your voice projection too. Okay, because again, because people, if you don't know how to speak properly, okay, the person on the other line might always ask you, can you repeat that? Sorry, I was not able to get that. Sorry, I was not able to hear you. And we don't want to do that. Okay, we want the people that we're speaking to be able to understand us clearly. All right. Right. How would the following be affected by your voice? Okay, again, confidence, courteousness, enthusiasm, and sincerity. Okay, so you have to ask yourselves these questions. Do I mumble? Do I whisper? Am I monotonous? Do I articulate? Is my voice a rain cloud or a rainbow? Okay. Sometimes, it works as well if you have a mirror in front of you. You put a smile when you're talking because it can be heard as well. It can be heard when you're talking. Those who have call center experience know this. Okay, it's one of the things that they actually do. They put a mirror in front of them, but while they're talking, they are able to see themselves. Because, like for example, when you're talking to someone, okay, when you put a smile in your voice, okay, listen to how I sound like. Hi, my name is Lynette. How can I help you today? Okay. So you make an impression that you're really willing to help and you are accommodating. Okay. Because if you're not, if you don't put a smile on your face when you receive a call, hi, my name is Lynette. How can I help you today? It's like you're conveying that, okay, another call. Okay. It's like you're not willing to help them at all. Okay. That's why we put a smile. Okay. Techniques for voice relaxation. While standing or sitting comfortably, place your hands lightly on your throat muscles and speak in a normal tone. Note the tenseness of the throat muscles and the tightness of your jaw. Okay, so there. So you have to be comfortable when you're talking as well. Not too comfortable that you sound like you're already sleeping. Okay, so you have to be careful with that too. Because sometimes, okay, because we're too comfortable, the person in the other line might not be able to hear you anymore. Wherein you actually, provided that opening spiel. Okay, sometimes they get surprised that you're already there when you say hello, hello, are you there? Okay, so you have to be comfortable too. Not too comfortable though, that you're already like you're sleeping. Okay. Okay, yawn, open your mouth wide. Finish the yawn with an easy ha, prolonging the hum for several seconds. Drop your jaw as far as it will go without stress. Waggle the jaw from side to side and continue humming with your lips closed and jaw loose. Okay, this is just an exercise for your jaw. Okay. Because if you're talking, talking for a long time, sometimes you get tired of it, right? So if you do get tired, especially if you're jaw, you kind of mumble after, because if it's like you're tired of talking already and you don't know how, or nothing comes out of your mouth anymore. Okay, and you're mumbling already, you're eating your words because you're too tired of talking. I don't know if you've already felt that, but there are times wherein when you're already talking for a long time, you just want to close your mouth and not talk because you've been, especially if you're talking to a lot of people. Okay, so there. So these are some exercises that you can do. Okay, repeat the yawning and humming. Notice how your throat muscles have loosened and become relaxed. See how comfortable your throat feels with the strain removed. Okay, retaining this feeling of ease and looseness, say the following words again. Okay, these are just some of the practice again. So this is some of the practice that you may do, right? Lightly knead the throat muscles. Okay, this is more of, massaging already. Slowly repeat the following. Some of the um, some singers, they do this. They call it vocalization, right? So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Next, we need to talk about speech rate. Speech rate is the term given to the speed at which you speak. It's calculated in the number of words spoken in a minute. A normal number of words per minute can vary hugely. Rate guidelines. Studies show speech rate alters depending on the speaker's culture, geographical location, subject matter, gender, emotional state, fluency, profession, or audience. Again, you don't have to speak fast. Okay, for you to be able to convey the meaning of what you wanted to say, don't talk fast. Okay, they will wait for you anyway. Okay? They will listen to you if you're trying to say something. Next, why change your speech rate? As customer care representatives, you need to be flexible. Even your rate of speech may vary. Changing your rate of speech means you are adjusting to the rate of speech of your caller. Okay, when your caller tells you, I'm quite in a hurry, okay, so you have to speak fast, okay, because you have to adapt. Next, your caller takes note of the information you provide. So if they're taking notes, of course, you have to be slow, especially if you're providing numbers. They might not be able to get those numbers if you're talking fast, right? Next, your caller may be an elderly. So if it's an elderly, usually, of course, they need you to speak slow, okay, because they cannot understand what you're trying to say. So you have to be uh, you have to be aware, okay, of how your caller is, okay, for you to be able to adapt to. Pitch, okay, for pitch in speech is the relative highness or lowness of a tone as perceived by the ear, which depends on the number of vibrations per second produced by the vocal cords. Pitch is the main acoustic correlate or tone and intonation. Example, how are you today? Compared to, how are you today? Because you just need to say it, right? How are you today? You don't sound accommodating at all. It's like you just stated that because it's part of your script. Okay. That's why when you ask that, there should be feelings. Okay. How are you today? Okay. Of course, if they answer, oh, I'm not feeling well, I'm kind of under the weather. Of course, the how you reply should also be different. You don't say, oh, that's good. Because sometimes there's script like, oh, that's good to hear. The person is already saying that she's under the weather. So your response should be, oh, that's too bad. I hope you feel fine soon. See the difference? Of course, that's how you do your conversation. Okay, so there. All right, so phone courtesies. Always make the caller feel welcome. Show enthusiasm each time you answer the call or each time you speak with someone. Use friendly phrases as part of your greeting. Okay, remember to smile as you take the call. Okay, so those are the things like what I told you earlier. Okay, if you have call center experience, um, especially if it's an inbound call, um, how you open that call or how you provide or how you speak the first time already gives an impression. So make sure that you give that good impression when you're talking to someone, especially if it's the first time. Okay, not too much wherein the person would be surprised on how you open, like, oh, hi, how are you today? That's too much, I think. You just use at least an accommodating tone. Hi, how are you today? My name is Lynette. How can I help you? That's how you do it. Okay. So you at least, not too much wherein you're too hyper. Okay. Because sometimes, you might sound too hyper. Well, for you guys, because you're all males, you won't be like that. There are some, females who would be like that. It's like they're cheering all of the time. It's like, I don't know, they're on, they've probably taken too much coffee or drank too much coffee. That's why they're so hyper. Wherein when they open the call, it's like, hi, my name is blah, 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 blah. Okay, so they're too fast. Okay, that's why, okay, of course, for you guys, it's not going to be a problem. What's going to be a problem is you sounding monotonous. That's one of the things that you guys, has a tendency to do, is sounding monotonous. Okay, so those are some of the things that we have for voice. All right. So for voice, what we have discussed, of course, making sure that your projected projection, the speech rate, okay, the pitch, okay, we talked about that. Okay. What else did we talk about? As an average or flexible speech rate. Okay. So make sure that you practice that too. Okay. So when you're talking, when you're recording yourself, especially when you're talking about something that you love doing, like what I told you, I'd advise you to do so that you can speak English fluently, try to practice those, your voice projection too. Okay, because it gives an impact. Like what we want to do is we want to have a lasting impact to our callers or to our clients when we first talk to them. Okay, we need to sound accommodating and like, yes, I can help you. Yes, I am of service. I can be of service. So those are the things that you have to remember. Okay, so there. So those are for your voice. Tomorrow, what we're going to talk about is, again, we will continue with customer service. Okay, we will continue with customer service skills. We will show, or we will talk about like opening the call. Okay.
Ma'am, excuse me, sorry to interrupt. We have training during the weekends.
No, no, sorry, not
Oh,
tomorrow.
okay, okay,
Uh,
sorry.
on Monday. Sorry about that. I'm so used to. Okay, sorry, not tomorrow, but on Monday. Thank you for correcting me. Okay, what we're going to talk about is opening the call, practice, probably practice spiel, placing a call on hold, call transfers, and concluding the conversation. So we'll continue with customer service skills. Okay. And then right after that, we'll talk about listening skills, and then we will move on to U.S. culture and geography. Okay. The last thing, or the last ones that we will be talking about, um, or in this language proficiency training that we have right now, is the U.S. culture and geography. Okay. I will check with Morose if you are going to you know uh be handling customers in the US or a different country. But what I prepared was for US. So I'll check on that. Okay. So that's what's going to happen for next week. Again, hope you guys will practice over the weekend. Try to read books, or watch English movies. Try to mimic them. So that's how you practice really. And try to speak the language at home. Try to practice by doing that. All right. So that's all for today. Thank you for attending, and I'll see you again on Monday. Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Have a nice night. Good night.
Thank you, and
Thank you,
have a
ma'am.
good weekend too.
Thank you. Thank you.